please. Good afternoon. Welcome to this meeting of the Board of Education. This meeting is being televised live on ACPS TV and streamed on ACPS YouTube channel. General information and protocols for the meeting are posted on the sign by the doorway as you enter the room. So please make sure you read those if you have not already. Please pause for the invocation. O God, we pray to administer that which is just in all educational policies, being ever mindful of your guidance. Stir us to action with love, wisdom, and understanding. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. That brings us to item 2.03, approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Do I have consensus? Thank you. Item 2.04, establish agenda order. Do I have a motion?
Motion to establish the agenda as written.
Second.
Thank you. Consensus? Thank you. That brings us to item 2.05, Educator of the Month, Mr. Lynn.
Do you want to make your day brighter? Then you should visit the classroom of our October Educator of the Month. It won't matter whether it's in the beginning of the day or the end, a Monday versus a Friday. If you were to pop into Christine Irwin's classroom, each and every student is engaged and working their way through a fun activity, learning a brand new concept, or practicing a content standard. Learning about different types of angles with parallel lines and transversals, dance, transversal games, game for the win, and getting her students up and kinesthetically learning the angle pairs. New properties about quadrilaterals to build on from middle school. Miss Irwin combines technology and Avid techniques to create a one-pager and then has students jigsaw to teach each other. She is simply amazing. Okay. Okay. Miss Irwin is a go-to staff member at Arundel High School, especially for some of our most reluctant learners. For example, Miss Irwin volunteered to spend her 8-day planning period all of the first semester last year working through GAP for geometry with a student who struggled with math and attending class. Although not jumping to go to her first class at first, Christine won the student over, and now the historically late to class student shows up early just to spend time with Miss Irwin and work on geometry. Not only is Miss Irwin an amazing teacher, but she also plays an integral role in athletics at Arundel High School. She is the head JV volleyball coach, having led her team to a county championship in 2021. She also helps with the back-to-back state champion varsity volleyball team. Her ability to grow and maintain a team feeling of camaraderie helped the program become what it is today. Miss Christine Irwin, the contributions that you have made towards the active hands-on geometry curriculum for AACPS teachers allows for the opportunity to use an engaging inquiry-based resource for each day. For all these reasons and many more, today the Board of Education is honored to recognize you as the Educator of the Month for October 2023. Congratulations. Okay. Would you please come forward to accept this recognition?
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Two questions for you.
Sure.
Is there anybody you want to recognize here today?
Yes, my parents just drove from Pennsylvania to surprise me. And my awesome colleagues that I work with.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
And what did they tell you to get you here today?
That we were doing a presentation on our Grading for Equity book study. Sorry.
Oh, so we have this plaque to present
Oh
to
my
you
gosh.
and this certificate as well. So,
Wow, thank you so much.
We gotta get a picture real quick.
Sure. How do we do this? I'm shaking. Thank you. Wow, thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to item 2.06, Employee of the Month, Mr. Silkworth.
Thank you, President Tobin. At Monarch Academy, one of their habits of excellence is quality. Our October Employee of the Month engages in all of his work with a mindset of quality. His level of excellence and pride in his work is a difference maker for the students and the staff at Monarch Academy. Congratulations, Mr. Elmer Granados. Technician Facilities. Mr. Granados assists with any task whenever he is called upon. He is the first person to help a child find a uniform, supports the needs of teachers in their classroom, and greets students and staff members with a smile. He has built stand-up desks for students and custom cabinets and shelving to meet teachers' needs as they have limited storage. Elmer has made a positive impact in the middle school as he supports One of the classes, Earth Matters. This class identifies problems in the school and creates solutions. For example, students have built birdhouses to increase habitats for local species. They built benches to provide an outdoor learning space and built a gag ball pit for recess play. Mr. Granados taught the students how to safely use the tools, and he mentored them through the building process. Mr. Granados, you perform all duties with a high degree of professionalism and quality. You take on your task with seriousness of purpose to do your very best. You do your job with immense pride and ownership. The students and staff of Monarch Academy are lucky to have such an expert. Elmer Granados, the Board of Education recognizes you as October 2023 Employee of the Month. Congratulations. Would you please come forward to accept your award? So, why did you think you were coming here today? Be honest.
The principal department told me it's the meeting about air condition, electric. And
I thought he was going to come and build some cabinets for us. Well, we congratulate you so much. A very valuable employee of Anne Arundel County Public Schools, and we thank you so much. So, there's a picture out there.
I'll start next.
That's yours.
Thank you very much.
And that brings us to item 2.07, Volunteer of the Month. Ms. Frank.
Thank you. Oprah Winfrey once said, "You have to find what sparks a light in you so that you, in your own way, can illuminate the world." This month's Volunteer of the Month has found her spark and illuminates the lives of students, teachers, and staff at Lakeshore Elementary School. It is an immense honor to recognize Mary Ellen Walker as our October 2023 Volunteer of the Month. For an incredible 20 years, Mrs. Walker has graced Lakeshore Elementary School with her presence, dedicating her time, energy, and heart to making our educational community a better place. Her impact is immeasurable, and her influence lights up every corner of our school. Mrs. Walker is not just a volunteer, she is a shining example of a positive role model for all of us. Her warm smile, genuine enthusiasm, and endless patience have made her a beloved figure among our students. Whether she's making copies for the teachers, guiding 4th and 5th graders to chorus practice, or organizing our busy picture days and field days, Mrs. Walker's contribution is ever present and invaluable. Mrs. Walker also supports our PBIS program by ensuring all students have cup cash to reward students. Her involvement in preparing the 5th grade promotion ceremonies has left a bright mark on the hearts of countless students as they move forward in their educational journey. One of Mrs. Walker's most incredible qualities is her ability to connect with students on a personal level. She exudes kindness and patience, creating an environment in which every child feels valued and heard. She doesn't just help with school activities, she fosters a sense of belonging and encouragement that stays with our students long after they leave our halls. But Mrs. Walker's impact goes beyond her own experience. She has inspired many others in the community to step up and contribute their time to Lakeshore Elementary. Mrs. Walker is not just a volunteer, she's an integral part of the very fabric of our school. Her dedication, kind heart, and boundless generosity have made her a beacon of light, guiding us all towards a better and brighter future. Mrs. Walker, Lakeshore Elementary, and the entire Anne Arundel County Public Schools community is blessed to have such a dedicated volunteer, and we thank you for your service. Would you please come forward? It is with great appreciation that I would like to present this Volunteer of the Month bell and certificate to you as a symbol of our appreciation.
question of the night. Good morning. How did they get you
for
here?
training?
What were they going to train you on?
For safety.
Oh, okay. Well, fun surprise. It's going to be shorter than you thought. So we'll give you this. This is a certificate. This is a bell. And I know that since people are coming in as I'm talking, you might not, but there's some very kind things that people have said, and you might want to read those later. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, look at
Oh.
the picture. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a 5-minute break for everyone who's just been recognized and some board members to go out front and get a few pictures taken. And then board members, come on back when you're done. have no public comment on agenda items today, so we will move to section 4, reports. First, we have the policy committee report. Unfortunately, Ms. Ellis, chair of the policy committee, is under the weather, not able to be with us today. We wish her well. She just asked that I communicate that the policy committee in its last meeting reviewed policy EAF, school bus maintenance, and that will be before us today on its first reading. That brings me to item 4.02, the president's report. And I have several things I want to mention today. First of all, to take a moment of personal privilege, I apologize for having to miss the last couple of meetings. I'm grateful for the well wishes I received, and I'm grateful to be back. So first, I would like to offer on behalf of the board and our entire school system our congratulations to our colleague, Michelle Corkadell, on being elected president of the Maryland Association of Boards of Education. Michelle assumed leadership of MABE during the association's annual conference this week here in Annapolis. And thanks to all of our members who attended the conference and to Dr. Bedell, who also attended. It was, as always, a great opportunity to gather with our colleagues from around the state, get terrific information, and remind ourselves of a lot of the work that we do and what we get into this for. So thank you to MABE for putting on another terrific conference. And again, congratulations to Ms. Corkadell. And I'd also like to mention congratulations to Dr. Bedell for earning the Joseph E. Hill Superintendent of the Year Award from the National Alliance of Black School Educators. I want to reiterate the comments that Dr. Julia Andrews, chair of NABC's awards committee, had when the award was announced. She said, quote, "As we reviewed the nomination packets, Dr. Bedell's positive impact on the school system climate and intense focus on equity for all children, even in the short time he has been at Anne Arundel County Public Schools, stood out. It was very evident to the selection committee that the students and staff at Anne Arundel County Public Schools are being well served by Dr. Bedell, and we are thrilled to be able to honor him. I certainly concur, as I know my colleagues do. Congratulations, Dr. Bedell, and thank you and your team for the work you are doing on behalf of our students." With that, I would like to turn the podium over briefly to Ms. Frank, who wanted to offer some comments.
Thank you, Dr. Tobin. I just wanted to thank the football players, fans, and staff from Chesapeake High School and Severna Park High School for the way in which they handled a difficult situation on September 29th. As you may have heard, there was a fatal accident on Mountain Road while the two schools were playing the homecoming football game, and Mountain Road was closed for hours. Students, staff, and families worked together to handle a lot of different aspects of that situation, and I am very appreciative of that collaborative spirit. I understand that it was around midnight when some of our families were finally able to leave the school parking lot. Again, our deepest thanks to everyone who helped that night. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Frank, and thank you to the community. I would now also like to offer Mr. Silkworth a moment to say something about a special event.
Yes, thank you, President Tobin. On Saturday past, I had the honor and the privilege to attend the 100th anniversary of Glen Burnie High School. Yeah, 100 years. That's what I said. A century of pride. It was also the homecoming celebration for the Gophers, and celebrate they did. It was, in my mind, a spectacular event. Former principals Vicki Plitt, Scott McGuire were in attendance with current principal Kevin Carr. And on behalf of Dr. Tobin, the president of the board, and all of our colleagues on the Board of Ed, we congratulate the Glen Burnie High School community for 100 years of excellence in education. This is truly a time for celebration. Glen Burnie High School has a rich history of achievement and pride, which started in 1923. Glen Burnie High School continues to be one of our special and unique educational institutions. Students have distinguished themselves in the classroom and on the playing field for 100 years, and this has truly been amazing. So, Gophers, you are a vibrant and diverse group of lifelong learners who strive to give back to the community. Continue to celebrate your centennial. Continue to elevate Glen Burnie High School. We are so very proud of the Gophers of Glen Burnie High School. Thank you.
Wonderful. And that concludes my president's report for today, which takes us to item 4.03, the superintendent's report. Dr. Bedell.
Thank you, Madam President. I have just a few items today, and I want to start with another huge honor for one of our staff members. I reported in May that Marley Middle School Principal Kim Winterbottom had been named Principal of the Year by the Maryland Association of Secondary School Principals. Now, I have the honor to announce that Miss Winterbottom is one of 3 finalists for the National Principal of the Year award. Several board members and I had the pleasure this morning of surprising Miss Winterbottom's team with the news during what they thought was a staff meeting. And it was awesome to see just the number of smiles on the faces of those co-workers in that school. The national winner will be named later this month, and we are all rooting for you, Miss Winterbottom. I also want to recognize all of our principals, as this is National Principals Month. So let's just give all of these accomplishments for these building administrators a round of applause. I had the chance last week to spend time with Police Chief Amar Awad as we traveled to some intersections to simply say thank you to crossing guards. I can tell you that after seeing some of the driving out there, I have a newfound respect for everything that they do. I can also tell you that our students absolutely love their crossing guards. That was so obvious as they came up to the intersections last week. This was a great chance to just show our appreciation, and the chief and I plan to do this several more times during the school year, including when the weather is cold. And so the goal is to hopefully have some coffee and hot cocoa and present some of that to these people who are out there working hard every day. What's important to note is that the police department still has vacancies for crossing guards. Anyone interested should call 410-222-6866. As you all know, we continue to provide staffing updates and improvements to you all on a weekly basis. We continue to see improvement with our vacancies. As I've stated to the board in executive closed session, it is also important to mention that we are in a period where there just simply aren't a significant amount of candidates available. So that number may not move as much as it's been moving, but the hope is next year we're able to compare to this 97, and hopefully we're looking at half of that being shaved off because of the efforts of our human resource department working with our building administrators and divisions to staff this district. All in all, I feel really good. I think there's another important note that I need to share with you all. The bus alternative vehicle driver number is 3, which are for all alternative vehicle drivers. We have no current bus driver vacancies, and we continue to work hard to build our bench. So I just want to thank everybody that's working with this team to really help us get this district staffed properly. Finally, I just want to mention one more time that we are in the midst of phase 1 of our redistricting process. A public briefing explaining the 2 options under consideration by the board was held on Monday of this week. The video of that presentation can be found at www.aacps.org/redistricting. A public hearing on those same plans will be held in this boardroom at 6 p.m. on Monday, October 16th. That hearing will also be streamed live. A link for people to sign up to speak will go public at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, October 11th. Testimony will be taken in person and virtually. Information on the plans under consideration can be found at www.aacps.org/redistricting. Madam President, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Bedell. All right, that brings us to section 5, consent items, award of contracts, item 5.01 and 5.02. Dr. Bedell.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam President. The superintendent recommends that the Board of Education authorize the award of contract 24-105 plumbing supplies to Ferguson Enterprises in the amount of $170,000.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Ms. Money?
Ms. Schallheim,
Aye.
Ms. Dent,
Aye.
Mr. Lynn,
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth,
Aye.
Ms. Frank,
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell,
Aye.
Dr. Tobin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Items 5.02, window replacement, Dr. Bedell.
The superintendent recommends that the Board of Education authorize the award of contract number 19CN-145-046, Architectural Engineering Design and Construction Administration Services for window replacement at Arundel High School to Mosley Architects in the amount of $171,250.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Seeing no lights, Ms. Money?
Ms. Schallheim,
Aye.
Ms. Dent,
Aye.
Mr. Lynn,
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth,
Aye.
Ms. Frank,
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell,
Aye.
Dr. Tobin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. That brings us to section 6, item 6.01, administrative personnel appointments, Dr. Bedell.
Thank you, Madam President. The superintendent recommends that the personnel listed on the attached sheet be promoted and/or appointed as discussed in executive close.
So moved. Second.
All right. Seeing no lights, Ms. Money?
Ms. Schallheim,
Aye.
Ms. Dent,
Aye.
Mr. Lynn,
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth,
Aye.
Ms. Frank,
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell,
Aye.
Dr. Tobin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Item 6.02, personnel, Dr. Bedell.
Thank you, Madam President. The superintendent recommends that the board approve the actions as stipulated on the attached sheets.
So moved. Second.
All right. Seeing no lights, Ms. Money?
Ms. Schallheim,
Aye.
Ms. Dent,
Aye.
Mr. Lynn,
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth,
Aye.
Ms. Frank,
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell,
Aye.
Dr. Tobin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. That brings us to item 6.03, school bus maintenance, code EAF. Dr. Bedell.
Thank you, Madam President. We will have Grace Wilson, who will present this first reading to you. Keep in mind that this is the first reading of this policy and will be posted on the website for a 30-day public comment period.
Thank you, Dr. Bedell. Good afternoon, President Tobin, Vice President Silkworth, and members of the board. For the record, Grace Wilson, Legislative and Policy Specialist. Policy EAF, school bus maintenance, is before you on first reading this afternoon. The policy was last revised in June of 2012. The policy and the accompanying regulation are being updated as the result of the passage of House Bill 492 during the 2023 Maryland General Assembly session. The bill allows AACPS to operate school vehicles for 15 years rather than 12, unless the vehicle fails to meet the applicable school bus and motor vehicle safety standards. The policy is being updated to use the term school vehicle rather than school bus to reflect AACPS's use of alternative school vehicles in addition to school buses, to add additional clarifying language to the issue statement, and for style and formatting. As Dr. Bedell said, this policy will be posted for a 30-day public comment period after today's meeting, and I'd be happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. I see no lights, so I believe there are no questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That brings us to section 7, review items. 7.01, construction status report. Dr. Bedell. Or this is a
Just a
review?
review.
A review, right. Are there any questions? I do want to just note, as this is up for review, that my understanding, the current construction status budget is $1.02 billion, which is one of the largest I think we've ever seen. So Mr. Roof and the staff are doing extraordinary work. So thank you very much. Item 7.02, award of contracts. Any questions? Okay, seeing none, that brings us to public comment on non-agenda items. So I will read the following before hearing public comment. This is one of the opportunities that the board provides to hear the views and receive the advice of community members. The members of this board appreciate hearing from interested citizens. As appropriate, we will refer your concerns to the superintendent for follow-up by his staff. The board will hear public comment from up to 10 total speakers, a combination of virtual and in-person per agenda item, excluding personnel items, reports, and recognitions during a single public comment section. In the early portion of the meeting, the board will hear public comment from up to 10 total speakers on items not on the agenda, excluding any student or personnel items near the end of the meeting. The link to register to comment before the board opened at 3 p.m. on the Friday prior to this meeting. Registration closed at noon on the Monday prior to this meeting. Speakers may sign up for no more than 2 agenda items, but only once on any individual agenda item. For any item with more than 10 registered speakers, the board will employ a lottery process to select the speakers. Registrants who secure a slot to speak were notified by email at the email address they provided when they registered. All speakers will be allotted 2 minutes and must address the specifics of the agenda item for which they sign up. No speaker substitutions will be permitted. If your name is called and you are not present, we will move on to the next speaker. For anyone who was not selected to speak at today's meeting, you may email your comments to the board office at boardoffice@aacps.org. While we encourage public input on policies, programs, and practices within the purview of this board and the school system, this is not the proper forum to address specific student or employee matters or to comment on matters that do not relate to public education in Anne Arundel County. We encourage everyone to utilize existing dispute resolution processes as appropriate. I remind everyone that any inappropriate personnel remarks or other behavior that disrupts or interferes with the conduct of this meeting are out of order. Persons using language that is threatening or promotes violence against members of this body or Anne Arundel County Public School employees are subject to legal penalties. Persons who otherwise disrupt or disturb this meeting will not be allowed to continue their remarks and will be asked to leave the meeting. It is not the board's general practice to engage in question and answer session with speakers. For the record, please give your name before speaking. Handouts should be given to the board assistant. I ask that speakers observe the 2-minute clock. A yellow light will shine when you have 30 seconds remaining, and a tone will sound when your time has expired. Please conclude your remarks when you hear the tone. If you continue after your time has expired, the microphone will be turned off. It could also be turned off if a speaker addresses specific student or employee matters or are commenting on matters not related to public education in Anne Arundel County. Thank you. So at this time, I would like to call up Ms. Amanda Bowen. Right there. Good afternoon, Ms. Bowen.
Good afternoon, Board of Education members and Superintendent. I'm a parent of a child who suffers from mental health issues. I have sat back and watched how AACPS expresses and claims they support mental health within our school systems. However, our personal story is a nightmare. But I won't get into that unless you ask. The system is flat out broken. Families are isolated or not taken serious. School psychologists are not licensed which I know is allowed in the school system. However, they are allowed to discredit, argue, and flat out disagree with multiple licensed psychologists and other mental health professionals. Documentation is requested, ignored, or families are being told it's not enough. Parents are being told there's nothing wrong with their children because they don't see it. Being discredited because a parent refuses to sign a no holds bar ROI. That any AACPS staff member can have access to their student's mental health record. My question is, when is there enough data? What will it take before school personnel start listening when a student violently lashes out? I'm sorry, I lost my spot. And hurts another student or staff when said student unalives themselves. Outside mental health professionals are not being listened to. Residentials are not being listened to. Emergency mental health hospitals are not being listened to. Heaven forbid your child is smart. It's not affecting their academics. Parents of children who are suffering behind closed doors, and no one is listening. We are asked to speak up, yet no one listens. At what point does multiple outside licensed professionals' opinions matter? We are told you can't go to the board and talk about specific details. We are told you can't go to your elected officials because they have no say over the Board of Ed. TikTok is now exploding with teachers speaking out about how they aren't allowed to say what they think when disagreeing with central office without fear of losing their jobs. We are told no everywhere we turn for help. We are told we wish we could help you. We are told go to the media and put all of your private business out there.
I
Then
have
when
to
the-
ask you to summarize, Ms. Brown.
I'm almost done, I promise. Then when the rubber meets the road and tragedy happens, we are told, oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. You should speak out. You should have reached out. How could you have missed this? And on and on. At what point are we going to stop with reactive and start becoming proactive? If one child falls through the cracks, we have failed that child. We could not begin to understand the pain us parents live through and continue to live through watching our children suffer. And with that, I leave you with this quote. And unless someone likes you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Dr. Seuss.
Thank you, Ms. Bowen. All right, that brings us to the end of our agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Consensus? Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.